Now, how many of you knew that learning a new skill such as playing the piano could actually give your brain a workout and improve your memory? Not many, right? And I'm sure I did not do too well on that, but I'm planning to learn as a means of giving my memory a workout. Welcome to the Psychologist NGTV with Blessing and Tamu. If you're new with us, if it's your first time here, please click on the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel so you don't get to miss out on any of our future videos. They are usually very educative and informational as well. So today we just want to define briefly what the memory is, and after that we'll go right to listing 12 methods by which we can improve our memory. The first 7 methods are more or less general methods that anyone can apply, while the 5 are more specific for either students or anyone seeking to learn the material and remember it. Yeah, so please stick with us. Whether you're a student or a worker or a parent, you actually need this knowledge either to improve your memory at work, to improve your work at school if you're a student, or if you're a parent, to be able to guide your children. Now, this is one video I do not want to rush through, and I plead with you to stay with me and let's learn. Let's learn and then improve our memories and improve our lives. So first of all, what is a memory? Memory is just the ability, or describes the ability of the nervous system to be able to acquire knowledge and skills and retain them, that enables individuals to benefit from experiences from previous knowledge. And that's very helpful. It's a good skill for everyone. Okay, now that's what the memory is. And just a little summary. We know we have 3 levels of memory, or 3 types of memory. We have the sensory register. Okay, and then we have the short-term memory and the long-term memory. The sensory register is the first level of memory where information that comes directly from our sensory organs are recorded very briefly. It's said that information stays at the sensory register just for a split second, and if there's no further processing of this information, it will be lost. Now, but any information that comes in contact with the sensory register and is processed or is worked on will now be transferred to the short-term memory. The short-term memory is also limited in duration and capacity, so we can store information there for just about 20 seconds, and information that can be stored is said to be 7 units in all, 5 plus or minus 2 units of information. Now, that does not mean it's just 7 items that can be stored there, but you can have 7 maybe codes that you can elaborate on. Now we are elaborating on that will be for another day. But the third level of memory is the long-term memory. And now this is the memory that can store information for unlimited duration of time throughout our lifespan, and it also has unlimited capacity. Now, if you want to recall information, it is necessary that you get it stored in your long-term memory. And how can you do this? Simply by processing the information. So we are going to go straight into ways in which we can improve our memory. You just want to be smart. You want to remember better. These are some of the things you can do. Number 1 is sleep. Yeah, many of us, do not understand the value of sleep to recall or to memory. And so a lot of times, students who are faced with examinations deprive themselves of sleep. Depriving yourself of sleep is very dangerous because it could lead to the destruction of the brain cells. You will not be able to remember well. So we need sleep. An average adult needs about 6.5 to 9 hours of sleep daily to function well. Consolidation of what we have learned, consolidation of the engrams, the units in which information is stored in our brain, is said to occur during the rapid eye movement sleep. Now we have about 4 stages of sleep. We have the non-REM, non-rapid eye movement sleep, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and then the rapid eye movement sleep. Now, during the rapid eye movement sleep, that's the time that, our brain is active, we can dream, and our memory gets consolidated. So it means you have to sleep well. Sleep through rapid eye movement sleep will come from at least 90 minutes after we've fallen asleep, or even more. So we need to sleep for us to be able to recall. That is why students who are preparing for examinations need to plan such that they can have adequate sleep for them to be able to have a good memory and pass well. Now, if you've been sleep deprived in the night, research has also shown that catching up on your naps during the daytime 60 to 90 minutes sleep during the daytime can make up for a night's loss of sleep. So make sure you sleep. Plan your timetable and your schedule in such a way that even if you prefer reading in the middle of the night like I do, you have sufficient time to sleep during the day to make up for that sleep. So that's one thing that we all need to do, sleep more. Now let me give us a little story. Now whilst my children were in primary school, their school was quite tasking. It means they came back from school at 4 p.m., sometimes 5 p.m. with loads of homework that ensured that they stayed awake till 9, sometimes 10, doing their homework. The next day, when they're getting ready for school, I don't wake them up at 5:30 because they have to be in school by 7:30. They have to be early for school. It's good to be early for school, but we have to set our priorities right. I knew that it was important for them to have a good night's rest, so I wake them up at about 6:30 or even 7 o'clock and get them ready for school so that they can have sufficient sleep, at least 8 hours of sleep before rushing off to school. And this helped with their memory tremendously. In fact, when I was more conscious of this, as we go on, I'll tell us the results I got from applying this and other methods that I encourage all parents out there to apply with their children to help them perform better in school. So the first thing you can do to improve your memory is to sleep sufficiently and sleep well. There are other things you can do to ensure that you fall asleep at the right time. Look at refer to our previous videos for some of such things. Now, the second thing that you need to do actually is to give your brain a workout. I just mentioned that. Giving your brain a workout is tasking your brain, learning something new. Now, if you are reading or engaging in some tasking activity, but it's an activity with which you're already familiar, or you're relearning or just going through material that you already know and mastered in the past, that will not give your brain a workout. To give your brain a workout, you have to engage in something new, novel activity, or you have to acquire new information. And the information needs to be something that requires mental activity that's going to task your brain. That will improve your memory. So learn something new. This is the right time to start learning that new language, that foreign language that you've been planning to learn for all of your lifetime. That's going to task your brain. Okay, you wonder if we've been planning to learn an instrument all of your life. This is the time to learn. Like I said, I still have my plans of perfecting my piano playing skills. I hope that happens someday, but I'm going to do that. And when you learn a new instrument, learn a new language, learn any skill that requires you to go from step to step, from simple to more complex, you're actually giving your brain a workout, and that improves your memory. Number 3 is exercise. Now, as you're giving your brain a workout, physical exercise is also very beneficial to the brain. Okay, physical exercise does a number of things for us. First of all, it prevents certain diseases like cardiovascular disease and like diabetes that lead to memory loss. Now, physical exercise also increases the supply of oxygen to our brain, which improves our memory, and also helps to stimulate the formation of new neuronal connection. Now, the brain is neuroplastic. Now, the property of neuroplasticity of the brain is what makes it possible for us to keep learning throughout our lifetime. The saying that you cannot teach an old horse new tricks is not correct when it comes to the brain. We can keep learning throughout our lifetime. Our brain is able to make new neural connections throughout our life and also modify old neural connections. And no matter how much information we take in, our brain is able to adjust to accommodate new information. So there can never be too much learning. Keep learning. So we must engage in physical exercise to improve our memory. Like I said, oxygen supply to the brain is increased, and also it stimulates new neuronal connections. Now, number 4 of what we must do to improve our brain, our memory, is to reduce stress. Reduce stress. Now, chronic stress interferes with our memory to such an extent that it leads to the damage or destruction of brain cells, and it damages the hippocampus, which, like we said, is a very important brain structure that leads to formation of memory and retrieval of information. Formation of memory and then retrieval of information, yes. Okay, so we must ensure that we reduce stress, and there are many measures we can take to reduce stress. Go ahead and read this up and make sure that you limit stress to the barest minimum. Another thing we can do is relationships. No man is an island. Humans are social animals. We are meant to exist, amongst other people. Having good and profitable friendships and interacting with people, in fact, interacting with other human beings, is said to be one of the best workouts for our brains. So form profitable relationships, plan to go out with friends, discuss with friends, and if you do not have many friends, a pet could actually be take the place to some extent of a friend. So interacting with your pet too can help improve your memory. Now, what else can we do to improve our memory? Humor. Like they say, laughter is the best medicine. Yes, laughter is very good for our memory because when we laugh, many parts of our brain, many parts of our organs are involved, and so it helps give our brain a workout and improve our memory. So we should laugh often. Seek out the fun in everyday activity. Watch children, learn from them, and just be attracted to humor and laughter and to positivity. That's going to help you improve your memory. And then the last general method, the seventh method for improving our memory, is diet. Now, eating the right diet can help improve your memory, while taking in the wrong diet, the wrong types of food, can actually help destroy your memory. For instance, taking in excessive sugar and carbohydrates, which we can find in fast foods, is said to lead to damage of the brain cells and so will interfere with our memory. Whilst eating foods such as whole grain foods, fruits and vegetables, taking in omega-3 oils, which can be found in seafood, eating a lot of nuts too, healthy nuts, can help improve our memory. Let's eat the right types of foods and let's cut down on unnecessary calories, carbohydrates, sugars, and the likes, and that will help us remember better. That will improve our memory. Stay with us as we go through the next 5 ways of improving your memory that's particularly useful for students and anyone that wants to remember a learned material. Now, one of the first things you must do for you to remember information while studying for an exam is chunking. Chunking. That is our method number 8. Yes, chunking is organizing information into meaningful units, smaller units. Now, when information is random out there, it's difficult to recall. When we organize information to meaningful units, especially units that are meaningful to us as individuals, it helps us to recall better. Let's take this for example. If I gave you a long list, I said mango, guava, Mr. Albert, Chris, University of Calabar, oranges, and the list keeps going on, and you have about 50 items on that list, and I say recall those 50 items, it will be difficult for you to recall them. But we are to organize those lists into types of fruits, names of universities, names of the vice chancellors of universities in the south, and stuff like that. You are more likely to remember all 50 of the names on that list because they are now organized. So you can remember 5 universities in the south, you remember their names, 5 types of fruit, you remember, and stuff like that. So when a student is reading, it will help when you organize information into smaller, meaningful units. That will help you understand than leaving them scattered out there. And it's not every time that the lecturer gives us information in the best organization that it can be. We can organize them better, make them more meaningful to us as individuals. That will help us. Now, the next thing we need to do is practice. Practice, especially when it has to do with skills. But the more you practice, like they say, practice makes perfect. So keep practicing and you keep getting better. And overlearning, when it is actually information. By overlearning, we mean going over that information again and again. It's easy to think that you know everything whilst you're reading, whilst the book is before you, because you can recognize the information, but while after that you might forget. So we need to come back again and again to study the same material, to overlearn the same material in order to be able to recall. That is why in our last video we suggested that you spread your reading through a long period of time from the beginning of the semester or the term and keep reading and rereading information. Don't even wait until the teacher gets to a topic. You can read ahead using your course outline or your textbook. So overlearning a material, reading it again and again will help you remember. Whilst we are at it, let me remind us, let me say this, I forgot to say this in the last video, that instead of sitting down for 5 hours straight to read, now whilst you're sitting down for 5 hours to read, if you break your reading to probably 30 minutes depending on the individual, or 1 hour, and every 30 minutes or 1 hour engage in something else, distract yourself a bit. I used to stand up and take a walk around, around the library and come back to my seat every 30 minutes to 1 hour. That's also going to help you relieve the stress and recall. So break your reading, occasionally to do something else that would revitalize you, that will make you reduce the stress. So number 9, we said practice for motor skills and overlearning for other information. Now the next thing we can do to improve our memory further, that should be number 10, I guess, is elaborating on the material. This we had also mentioned in passing in our last video, that cramming will not profit you, will not help you recall. When you cram information, you're more likely to forget that information when the time comes. You miss one word and everything is gone. But when you elaborate on the material, when you read to understand, employing all of your senses, seeking additional resources, seek videos, watch them on YouTube and other places, seek other textbook pictures, and incorporate all of this into your learning. When you elaborate on the material sufficiently, it helps and enhances recall. So take time to read. Take time to ensure that you understand every little detail of the material. And where there's any block because of words you don't understand, diagrams you can't understand, seek that you gain understanding of this material. That will help you recall. Understanding and elaborating on the material helps recall. Now, one other quick tip is linking. I've lost count, I've lost the number, but linking. And when you read information, when you encounter novel information, try to link this information with information or concepts that you already know very well. Try to link them to some already learned material. So when a new information comes in, link it to already learned material or already learned concepts. Now, there are some concepts that are similar between subjects. You can also link them and ensure that you understand the connection so there's no confusion or interference while you're trying to recall. Link with things in the environment, link with people. Linking like this helps us recall. In fact, it serves as a cue. And now this leads us to the very next thing that we can do to improve our memory is the use of mnemonics. Mnemonics are anything that we use as a clue to recall. Now there are different types of mnemonics that we can use to remember. One is using an acronym that's using the first letters of the concept or the words that you need to remember and using them to form a word that will help you remember. A popular acronym here in Nigeria is Mr. Niger. Now, every secondary school student knows that is used to remember the characteristics of living organisms, movement, respiration, and on and on and on. Mr. Niger. Okay, so you can use an acronym to remember. You can also use an acrostic, a sentence, in which also you use the letters from what you want to remember to form the sentence. Okay, the first letter of what you want to remember forms the first word of the sentence that you use to remember. Another example of an acrostic is hello Helen, look broken bottles, can Nipoga organize for New Nigeria? Now we use this one to recall the elements, periodic elements of the periodic table, elements on the periodic table. Pardon me, I've left this stuff for quite a while. So that helps us recall too. And we can also use a rhyme. Many of us, when we want to think about which months of the year have 30 days or less, you simply go 30 days has September, April, June, and November. I do that all the time. So you can create a rhyme with the information you want to memorize, and when you memorize that, it helps you recall what you want to recall. The final mnemonic we are going to mention is the method of loci. Now, this is one I've never used. It's good for people who are good with spatial recognition and stuff like that. Now, this involves picking the items you want to recall in your brain, going to a familiar place in your house and dropping each item. And then when it's time for you to recall, get back mentally into the place where you drop these items and begin to pick them up one after the other. For instance, if you're asked to remember a list of fruits, now a very familiar place in your house may be your living room. So you put one of the fruits on the dining table, you put one on the bookshelf, maybe banana on the dining table, oranges on the bookshelf, and stuff like that. And when you're in the exam condition, go back to the places where you kept them to retrieve them. Now, this works for people who are good with special skills, okay? Yeah, so you can do that. You could also use a diagram or a chart to recall information that has been stored. Now, if you put all of this into practice, I'm quite sure that you will do well in your exams. Study, like I said, hard work is the only road to success. Now, talking about learning to play musical instruments, I mentioned how I was ensuring the children had sufficient sleep at one particular time before going to school. I didn't wake them too early. I ensured they had at least 8 hours of sleep. At that same time too, instead of letting my children snack on the usual biscuits and Fanta that most children bring to school, I usually gave them fruits, oranges, banana. That's what they took as their snack to school. So they were cutting down on sugars and unhealthy carbohydrates. Sometimes I made zobo, which is very rich in vitamin C for them to take to school instead of buying Fanta. Adding some things to help them to help boost their immunity in the zobo. And so doing that, they also were learning skills. In fact, at that time in their school, there were just some of the very few children, learning the instruments at that time in school. And that end of year party, I could not stop thanking God, because the children shone like stars. Like we said, playing instrument, learning new skills helps with the memory. They were sleeping sufficiently. They were cutting down on their sugars. And yeah, just some pictures from that end of year party. It was fabulous. They shone in every aspect. They did very well. And unfortunately, through the years, I might not have been able to keep up with this, but each time I remember to be conscious, they do better. So let's take action today to get the results that we desire, both for us and for your children. And if you've been with us this far, you have not yet subscribed to the Psychologist NG TV, please click on that subscribe button, and also enable the notification by clicking on the bell sign so you can be notified of all of our future videos. Leave your comments. I want to know what you think about this video. I also want suggestions on topics you want us to handle, psychology-based topics, and we'll handle them for you. And also, please follow me on Instagram at the Psychologist NG. Also follow me on Instagram at the Psychologist NG, on Facebook at the Psychologist NG, and on Twitter at the Psychologist NG. Been a lovely time with you here. I wish you a pleasant day, and please work hard, and I wish you success in whatever endeavor you're carrying out. Have a beautiful day. Bye.